What's going on, POW friends and fans and everybody in the world of CAW and professional wrestling? This is SYM here. You're about to listen to episode 2 of the POW podcast. This episode features the Latin Prince, Chris Morales. This is the Latin Prince episode. We're going to deep dive into his career. He's going to be shooting off the mouth at a bunch of shit that a lot of people have been waiting to hear. Parental advisory as usual, and before we deep dive in this, I've got to acknowledge something and I've got to really make some announcements. First and foremost, October 24th, we will be dropping episode 6 of Vendetta. That is official. That is happening. Massacre and Metal. We got a lot of big things for that show, so look out for that next Saturday, October 24th. Not this one, not tomorrow when this is dropping. Next Saturday, October 24th. A second thing, 2 days after we drop episode 6 of Vendetta, we will be releasing episode 3 of the POW podcast, and this one is going to be the biggest episode we will ever do. It's the 1-year anniversary show. Myself, Draskell, Chris, King Wolf, we will all come together and we will just talk about some fine details, some crazy moments, some things you guys didn't know about when we created POW. We will be shooting, we'll be going crazy. Somebody may be drunk, somebody may be naked. That's their own personal business. But look, it is going to be amazing. You won't want to miss it. This is going to be the one that you are going to want to listen to for the full 2 hours. So be on the lookout for that. We got that coming up soon. Let's get into this podcast though. Let's listen to the Latin Prince and see what he got to say. That's all I've got for you. Enjoy the show and come on in, baby. Yeah.
Oh shit. What'd you think about the Black Ops Cold War zombies preview? Did you ever get to see that?
No, bro, and I gotta be honest, I don't really care either way. Like, I don't know, for me, like, I maybe now going back and playing my PS3 a lot, which is what I was on literally when you texted me. I was
Mm-hmm.
playing NCAA Football 13, and so that's why I told you it was gonna take a second. But maybe because I've been on my PS3 more, like these Call of Duty games just don't hold it for me anymore, bro. Like, especially when I go back and I'm playing games like Black Ops 2 and even Black Ops 1, hell, even Black Ops 3 zombies, and I'll be like, this is fucking fun. And I'm just like, but nothing else. Just I don't know. Something about it just doesn't like reel me in.
I think you should look at it because there's an 8-minute video that I guess Treyarch and Activision and all those people put on the Call of Duty page on YouTube, and it's like it looks like old school zombies, bro. I mean, it's not like Black Ops 4 zombies, which I thought was fucking trash. They brought back Speed Cola, they brought back Jug. I believe the map is like a remake of Knocked. So it looks really good, and it's set in the 80s, bro. It looks really fucking good. And even if, like in my opinion, even if Black Ops Cold War isn't good in terms of like multiplayer, at least now they have it to where you can just download the zombies portion and you don't have
Which
to have the multiplayer portion.
which is what I would want personally, because I don't see myself playing multiplayer like that. I honestly would only play it if it was like to play with you, Draskell, and Wolf, and such and such.
Yeah, yeah. No, yeah. I would only play like the campaign, zombies, and I probably only play fucking what's Warzone. I'd play Warzone with you, Traycon, and Hefe like we used to, but the whole thing is that I guarantee this fucking game's gonna have so much space that it takes up on your console though. So that's why I probably won't even download the multiplayer portion. I'll
Bro, I
just
got
stick with zombies.
it's for that exact reason why I got a 4 terabyte hard drive.
See, shit, I should probably invest in that. But I mean, it's no point in investing in it now with the PS5 coming out. Shit,
I mean, but then you can take your shit over. You know what I mean? Like, in worst case, if you can't, in worst case, just clear out the space off the hard drive.
true.
At least then you still have it. You know what I mean? Like, because extra space is always good. I don't care what no one tells me.
It is. I was gonna go to like Best Buy or somewhere and get a terabyte put in my PS4, but I just forgot to and I just didn't do it. But shit,
Yeah, you
man.
wouldn't spend. You went and spent all your money on those Air Force Ones. That shit was
Ooh,
clean.
ooh.
That shit was
That
clean.
boy putting out my business on there on the podcast here, the Air
I'm
Force
sorry.
One.
I'm sorry, dog.
I sure did. I spent a lot of money this week, but that's that's between me and my bank account.
I'm sorry, dog. I just gotta give you props. Them shits was nice.
Those shits are nice. They're comfortable as fuck too. If you're listening to us, if you hear our voices right now, buy some Air Force Ones. Buy some fucking Air Force Ones. Them shits are fire. They feel comfortable too. I never had Air Force Ones. I
You
mean,
did?
nah,
Don't
bro.
tell me. Don't tell me that was your first pair, dog.
These are my first pair, bro. These are my first pair of Air Force
Time,
Ones.
time
I
out.
never
Time
had
out.
any.
Time out. You smoke crack, don't you?
Hold up. Hold
Don't
on
you?
now.
Don't you smoke crack?
Hold on now. I came up like when Nelly back in the day fucking did the Air Force One song and all that shit. My family was poor as a motherfucker. We couldn't afford no Air Force Ones. I was fucking rocking New Balances, bro. That was my shoe as a
Shit.
kid. Yeah. That shows you. I was fucking rocking New Balances, Motherfuckers gonna talk shit. I was rocking New Balances, but these are my first Air Force Ones. I was going to fucking buy another pair. I might end up buying another pair by the end of the year just so I have two of them. Because those shoes are, god damn,
I
these are the best
I
shoes
need
on the
to
planet.
I need to get a new pair of all white ones. I got some. I got white ones with like the bubblegum bottoms.
Mm,
Like the brownish like color bottoms.
yeah,
But I want some like all white, crispy, clean like Air Force Ones.
like the ones I got.
Exactly.
Okay. Hell yeah,
And then
bro.
I might invest in a black pair and a red pair.
Man, I got that Nike app, so I'm on their shit now, and I'm probably gonna get back into being a sneakerhead because some of the shit on there just looks so fucking fire. It really does. But
Nah, dog, like, cause I had a pair of all white ones, but I never wore them, cause bro, I didn't really go out like that. I started going out more in the last like year and a half.
hmm
So like, I started dressing up more and shit. But so I just didn't take my Air Force One with me. I put them in storage, and I got them bitches out, and now them bitches are like yellow.
hell nah, you gotta reinvest in someone. You can't. You gotta get them. You gotta let them breathe, bro. What you doing? You should have took them bitches with you, bro. Or
I didn't
well,
think I was gonna be. I didn't. Well, first of all, bro, like when all that shit was going on, it was just a rough time and shit. But
right.
and when I was packing, I was just packing, just throwing shit in. The only thing I thought about like packing, like actually thought, okay, I'm gonna take this with me, was obviously my systems.
hmm
And
Right.
even then, I fucked up because what did I do? I fucking left my PS3 in storage. And then like a
Oof.
month later, I was like, damn, I want it.
Bro, I always got to keep a PS3 with me. That's like the best console ever, bro. But, uh, yeah,
First
man,
generation is
yeah, I love that generation. I'm gonna talk
I
about Air
that
Force Ones one last time and saying that you definitely got to buy a pair now.
Oh, I'm looking at them already.
All right, all right, all right. But to the PS3, what we were talking about, man, there's so much nostalgia that I have on the PS3. Fucking Uncharted 2, Black Ops 2. Those are my two main games for the PS3. Those multiplayers are untouchable.
Bro, I love my PS3 because it's backwards compatible.
Oh, you have the original.
The original first generation.
Oh shit, no wonder you were on that shit. No wonder you were like, oh, it's gonna take me a while. Bro,
Dog,
you got your
do you
PS2 games you could play on
dude,
there.
now do you understand?
I get it. Oh shit. I have the second one, the second model. So the model that I had looks like yours, except it can't do backwards compatibility. I don't know why the fuck they took that out of all the PS3s, but like because after that first year, you couldn't find a backwards compatible one. I don't know. I don't get why they did that. That makes no sense to me. The hardware was still there,
Yeah.
or everything was still there. They even have the software on the PlayStation Store where you could like have a backwards compatibility function. But I don't know why the fuck they did that, because I want to go back and play some of my old shit. You know, like I want to go back and play the original Star Wars Battlefront, the original Star Wars Battlefront 2. Fuck, man, I want to go back and play SVR 06, 7. Here Comes the Pain. You know, my personal favorite, SmackDown Shut Your Mouth. Like, I want to go back and play those, but I can't. Because, I gave away my PS2 to charity a while ago, but, you know, damn. So no wonder you don't
Bro,
want to get off that shit. I get it,
bro,
bro.
like literally, I found NFL Street, NBA Ballers. I mean, like, I know you're not a sports game person, but those kind of games, those street sports games are the shit.
Man,
And bro, I even found my Dragon Ball Z games. I'm talking Budokai, the first Budokai that came out for like the PS2.
I had all of them bitches, bro.
Bro, I
They,
found that and I was like a fucking kid in a candy store.
you know, they remastered those for PS3 though, right? With like updated graphics and everything. They
Who
got
would
the
they have in the
HD
what?
collection of Budokai.
Who would the what?
Yeah, bro, they got the HD collection of Budokai on the PS3. You're gonna have to invest in that now.
Uh
But
huh. Uh,
let's talk about some other history. Let's talk about you in your history in CAW. I mean, that's why everybody's here. We're all connected with CAW. Um, you and I have different kinds of history, and you've already told me some of your history. But do you mind reiterating it for the people that are listening?
well, what do
Where
you?
did you start? And tell us everything.
All right. Well, I mean, I guess for me, it started back. Honestly, I think because again, like I told you before, I kind of fell off the wrestling wagon because I was a very impressionable kid, shall we say?
Hmm.
So my family didn't exactly appreciate me doing the 5-star frog splash, swanton bombs, and and everything else, like off the couch and shit. So they basically said, okay, that's not happening anymore, and kind of took it away from me for a long ass time. But like everybody else, you kind of get into it, and then you try to stay with it. So like when I would go to school or with over with friends' house, I would watch wrestling with them or whatever. But it just, as a kid, you forget shit later on in life. And around 2006, 2007, I started getting more into sports and less like into actually like wrestling.
Mm.
So I just fell off of it completely until about 2013 when I was like, I don't know why, but I kept thinking I want to say the game was called WWF Attitude. It was the
Mm.
one, it was a red cover with Stone Cold on it. I always remember that cover.
I think that
It was
might be
red.
attitude. Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember this game because I think it was on PlayStation 1, and my uncle had it. And what he did was, because I was a big Dragon Ball Z fan, as we've already, figured out, he went into the creator wrestler portion of the game back then, and he made a character that looked like Krillin from Dragon Ball Z, with the little dots on his forehead and everything, orange gi, the blue belt, all that, all
Mm.
everything. And then he made what I call the fucking love child of Trunks and Kane,
Mm.
because that's what it looked like. The dude was, I remember this dude was huge, had purple hair, had like the black like old school like Sting face paint where with the one line just going right down the middle of his eyes, and that kind of look. But I always remember that game for that reason because I would always play as Mankind and Kane, and so I was thinking of that game, and I was like, yo, I want to find a wrestling game. And that year, it was CM Punk on the cover. And I didn't know who the fuck CM Punk was at the time because, again, I fell off. I fell way off.
Mm.
And so we were in Jacksonville at the time. We were someone who's not around anymore would just say like that. Not dead or anything, he's just not around. But we went to the naval base where he was stationed, and on the naval base, there's no taxes or anything. So I went in and I asked, hey, what's the wrestling game on now? Because I've been out of touch for a while. And he brought me over to WWE 13 with Punk on the cover.
Right.
And so I got to playing it. I found the old wrestlers that I liked, Rock, Eddie, even Hogan, and all those.
That was
And then
and I don't mean to cut you off, but it's so interesting because you went from WWF Attitude to now WWE 13, which that game, the whole theme of that game was the Attitude Era.
Yeah, you're right. Now that I'm thinking about it, you're right. But like, and again, I didn't really know who any of the other people were on the roster, so I just played with who I knew. And I was scrolling through TV one day, and I'm literally just scrolling through TV looking for something, trying to find something to watch because I'm bored out of my fucking mind. And I come across Monday Night Raw, and I'm like, why the fuck does that sound so damn familiar?
Hmm.
And I turned it on, and immediately the first thing I hear is, "No chance! That's what you got," you know. And I'm like, okay, struck a chord, and then suddenly, I remembered, and so I started watching, and God, that was literally, I think that was at the end of the AJ Lee, crazy chick angle that she was like the GM.
Oh, okay. I was watching during that time. Yeah.
Yeah, so that it was around that time that I started watching again, and was kind of hooked on it for about 5 years, I would say, from
Mm,
2013 to 2018. Until obviously like I told you all in the past, I got sick of that stupid bullshit that the E was pulling, and I just stopped caring for them altogether.
right.
And now we have AEW. But as far as my journey in CAW, I want to say I don't think I made my first character. I vaguely remember making him in 14, but I don't remember what he looked like. I always remember 15 because that was the first game on what was then the current gen console, which is PS4.
Mm,
And 15 was garbage, dog. It was, dog, I'm talking garbage. Like there was max of maybe 75 wrestlers, max. You had 25 create a wrestler slots.
mm,
Keep in mind that if you download tires, those take up slots.
mm.
That game was hot garbage, dog.
Man.
And I met, and that's where so I made that was where I made Chris Jones, which at the time that's what I went by. Because I tried Morales at first, and it just for some reason back then it just didn't strike with me. It really didn't. I tried, just hearing it and constantly, getting used to it, and it just never worked.
Mm,
So I went by Chris Jones from 15 through about midway through 17, I believe, maybe the end of 17, and then I tried it again. I was like, let me go back and try it. Let me see what I find. Thinking that maybe they added more Hispanic options into the game. They did
mm.
not. So I went back to Morales, and again, it didn't work, bro. Like it just like we always throw around like tag team names, and we talk about how like, that's not sitting right. And you're the one that tells me, just stick with me, just stick with it. It'll grow on you.
Right.
I I pushed through it, and I stuck with it, and say la vie. The rest is history.
I like that. I like that. So, in
And
yeah.
go ahead, go ahead.
No, I was gonna
No, no,
ask you
what
another
were you,
question. Was that
go ahead. Good. Yeah, that was no, that was it. That was it. Go ahead.
all right for sure. So you at one point you did have your own like league or sim federation or something of the
Yes.
sorts, right?
So I had TCW, True Car Wrestling. It started off as like just a sim show that I did on my own, and because I was doing it on my own, I got burned out of it literally after like 3 episodes
Mm,
because it was just rough because I was trying to get everything done, plus with school and everything, and plus I was doing sports still. Like I was just done, bro. I was burned,
right.
so I stopped doing it. But before that, even but back up to before even that, I didn't just start with that actually. Where I started was, believe it or not, with certain people who I don't even know if I want to name them, to be honest, that we met um in like a Facebook group, and we all like started this. It was this stupid thing where like we would have our own feds, our own companies, and people who want to go here or go there, we would like act like GMs and offer them contracts. You know what I mean?
Right.
To see who can outbid the other. And so that's kind of where that started, and then eventually that grew into hey, I'm thinking about doing like a show. I'm gonna do the editing. I'm gonna edit in music, entrances, um, maybe cutscenes. Do you want to be part of it? People would say yes or no. Download the character. Bada bing, bada boom. And it would just went from there. I actually think I have like one episode on, but it's not even like I don't think I edited in music. I think it was the very basic show because I don't remember editing music in that at that time.
Hey, brother, I tell you what, you find that episode, you send it my way. I'll let it in the music. We can put it on the channel, put it in the archives.
Say
Shit,
less. I'll send it to you in about 30 minutes.
shit. Send it my way. We're gonna do this. You heard it here first. What's the name of this show?
It might have been TCW, but it could have also been something else. I just don't remember what.
All right, we're gonna get that shit on the channel either fucking way. Ha ha, in your face. Ha ha ha. Anyway, so you had your own league, and then from there you said it got to be too tasking, and it got to be
Yeah,
a lot of
yeah.
work, and so you just
Well,
stopped doing
well,
it.
I did. It wasn't. Well, okay. The league portion came at the end of 2017 when I joined a league. Try because I started to hear about the online scene
Hmm.
around that time, right? And I was interested. Because I got bored of Sim because I was not in control, and I used to complain about that a lot. Like, don't book me in shit when or put me in matches that's like this motherfucker beats me, but I know for a fact I can beat this jackass with my hands tied behind my back and blindfolded.
Yeah, that's one of my problems with Sim. Look, all due respect to anybody running Sim out there or doing their own eFed kind of thing, but there's a
Okay,
lot of
respect.
shit talkers in Sim when a lot of those people just show up, have somebody else play as them, and cut promos, and that's it. And half the time their promos are incredibly generic, right?
Yep.
I get the negative stigma that PvP gets or online leagues get. You do have spammers out there, but let's look at POW. We're like legitimate. I had somebody hit us up today talking about they wanted to join because they left the league scene, but they saw our work and they're like, this is legitimate. This isn't bullshit, like. So I think that first of all, I agree with you, and I understand why you're frustrated. Why you were frustrated in saying like, "Oh my God, this person beat me," whereas I know for a fact I can beat them because I've been there before, especially back in like the SVR kind of days
Yeah,
when.
jobbing the fucking people like Rey Mysterio. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, thank you for echoing that sentiment. Yeah, absolutely. Having me, of all fucking people, the guy who I'm going to have an episode, I'm sure, but like. Really? Me jobbing the Mysterio? It's a fucking real guy, it's stupid. But yeah, man, so I don't really like Sim in that regard in terms of me, but I love it in the regard of like people being creative.
The the art style, the story that you can tell with Sim, and the
Yes.
shit that you can pull off with Sim.
Yes. There's a lot of great like Sim stuff that is
Tyler Steele.
creatively.
Tyler Steele.
Yeah.
Give the man.
Yeah.
Let's just take a second and give that man all the credit in the world, where because it's due. It's completely due to him. That man is as far as I know, as far as I'm concerned, that man is like a Sim god.
Yeah, Tyler Steele's the shit. He's really opened my eyes to like Sim in a new light, and he's always innovating. I was also you got people like Wade War who does WZW. What they do in Sim, I don't even know if you'd consider that Sim. I think it's more like EFED based. I don't know the difference. I don't know the terminologies.
I was gonna say, what the hell is the difference between EFED and SIM? Can someone please
I
explain that? 'Cause I genuinely do not know.
Dude,
I thought they were.
there's a lot of different shit. I think maybe we're just a little too old, but there's EFED, there's SIM, there's HLR, there's
What the
H&R
fuck is
Block,
HLR?
there's
What?
State Farm,
Whoa,
there's
HLR, bro. Isn't that a tax exempt
there's
shit?
Purex, there's eHarmony, there's all kinds of stuff now in CAW.
Shut
You ever been in
Yo,
an
you
eHarmony league?
yo, you need to chill because you caught me.
All
I
these
thought that shit
people
was true.
all these people fucking making up this new shit now. Like, what are we? Like, fucking, I don't know. We're POW. How about that? But
We're
like,
top that, baby.
oh shit. Oh shit. Well, so you stopped doing that. Back to the question. You stopped doing that. What came after? What came after you stopped running your own league?
Well, Okay, well, nothing really. I kind of just freelanced and did my own shit for a while until I ended up signing into hell, unbeknownst to me.
Yes. You know what? Let's go ahead and talk about it. You went
Do we
to
do we
uh,
address it as this called, or do we address it as hell? How we address how we?
let's just be real. You went to JTV and you did shit with JTV Wrestling. Why don't you go ahead and tell your story in terms of that?
Trey kind okay, so Trey and me have been friends for years, at that point, because we met back in 2015, like when I was starting to get into CAW.
Hmm.
With him, it was me, Trey, and Lewis. The three amigos, the white, the dark, and the white, the dark, and the brown.
Hmm.
Okay, but Trey got me in because he was telling Jay that I would be a good fit or whatever. And I wasn't really sure about it because I had been in leagues before, and it never worked out because they were just all so pushy. And my thing is, when something becomes to feel more like a job than a video game, I lose. It's like I'm out.
Yes.
I'm dipping because
Right.
it's a video game. It's meant to be
Yeah.
fun. It's not
Hmm.
supposed to feel like work.
Right.
If I wanted it to feel like work, I would go back some groceries in Publix. All right, fuck out of here.
Mm.
So he brought me in, and Jay put me in the tag team with Trey, and you know, it my friendship with Trey, and I will say this, it was fun because we goofed off and we were very similar in a lot of ways, in a way that like we could joke around and that we had similar interests, but our styles were just too different. As you've seen, I'm very much more like a ground and pound brawler, very like in your face and almost technical. I don't know if I want to call it that. Like I can't. I don't know how I could describe it accurately. Like how would you want to phrase it? Maybe you
Just
could phrase it
very,
better than.
I think you're just that. You're technical. You're like, your pace is very slow and methodical. You know, you're not too flashy, but you're very psychological.
And see, and Trey was always trying to go for the high spots, the OMG moments, and it just never worked out. But it became apparent that, like, at least what Jay would tell me was that I was the better talker, I was the better wrestler, this, that, and the third, and I know I was. And because I'm not saying stupid shit where I'm roasting somebody, I'm roasting Bret Hart, and then a motherfucker comes out and says, "Oh yeah, I'm the Bret Hart of JTV."
That's like
What?
reference
What?
to a promo you cut where you were trying to bury Bret Hart, and then your own tag team partner then goes on to say, "I'm the Bret Hart of JTV." Jesus
I'm like, huh?
Christ. Yeah,
Huh? What?
yeah.
Are you stupid? I'm curious. Are you retarded? Yeah. Anyways,
Well, let's just get to the point of like, what was your experience like altogether?
beginning it was cool. Everything was going well. Everything was the shit, and I actually thought I had found like a genuine home, a place where we can chill, kick it, have fun. But then wanted to pull the movie shit when I was going through personal shit in my life, like life changing shit, and try to make my all my time about the movies and JTV, and I lost interest in it, and I started to notice the change in the way that Jay would act, of how he would talk to me, how he wouldn't hit me up like he used to, and I just found that very odd because how do you just suddenly go from talking every day to just suddenly not hearing from somebody at all? That doesn't just happen.
Mm.
Something has to click in that person's head that says, okay, so this shit is suspect. And that's when I think one day you and me were talking in a party after everything that happened with you, and he gave you the boot and shit, or however you want to phrase it, and I just had enough of it. And so honestly, I don't care what happens with POW. I know for a fact, and let me make this very, very, very clear. I will never, in this lifetime, go back to JTV.
Mm. You're a cautionary tale, man. I'll put it like this, man. Being there firsthand and seeing this shit. Not even going to get into my personal things, that happened. But seeing you,
let's kind of talk about it because your shit ties into mine.
well, the thing is, you and I really began to bond and become really good friends because we'd spend time in the chats together. You and I would shit talk back and forth in jest, just because, we're just
Yeah,
friends,
just
goofball.
that's just how we were, especially back then. That's how we communicated,
Right.
and we were yeah, and we
And,
just
and,
clicked like right away too. That was the thing that I thought was cool, was that you and me like clicked almost instantly.
oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I remember when he first introduced us. But we just had a bond that was really tight and really cool, and we still do. And it just got to the point where people were saying stuff like, "Oh, you guys are hanging out. I'm jealous." Blah blah blah. You can sense some kind of tension and hostility going on, and a lot of bullshit going on. A lot of shit being said behind the scenes, and a lot of people talking behind other people's backs. That kind of environment is so fucking
Yeah,
toxic. And
yeah. People go out of your way to help you, and then you go and like throw them under the bus.
then it's like this. You, Chris, for one, you've never lost. You never lost that tag title because you were a tag champion over there. You never lost the tag title. You're still tag champion in my book. Shit. Um, and you did a lot of good things. You did a lot of good things, and you were very much so pro JTV wrestling, and you were very much so loyal. But it came to the point when you didn't want to do stuff that people wanted you to do, and it's like hive mentality. It's hive mind mentality. It's like, well, everybody does it, so you should do it. Meanwhile, this whole thing was offered up as an option. Like, nobody, you didn't have
I
to do JTV movies. You
well,
wanted to do it. Yeah,
well, this I felt like I was kind of like forced to. I couldn't say no.
right. And that's kind of ridiculous in my opinion. From that standpoint, it's like I couldn't imagine anybody coming in POW and I'm like, yeah, you guys are cool. You can do whatever you want. And then like I start doing personal projects and I get mad when you don't want to be a part of them. That's essentially what happened. It's like
Yeah,
you were asked to do it. You didn't have to do it, but it seemed like you were forced to do it. And when you complained about doing it because people were wasting time and bullshitting, then you started getting backlash about how you're not loyal. And it's like, how far does loyalty go? Loyalty doesn't mean you got to do everything somebody asks you or tells you to do.
I mean, I
Yeah,
was pretty loyal when I was fighting his battles, from smoking people on his behalf, and he
right,
had no problems with it. But guess
right.
what? But I'm the traitor. I'm the bad one.
I mean, and from that understanding, you were there fighting battles and being a good person and being upfront. And I'm sure, nobody's perfect. None of us are perfect. We've all made mistakes, but we're just being honest here. You can't measure loyalty by how much everybody does everything you say every moment of the day. That's a load of bullshit. That's not what loyalty is. And on top of that, at the end of the day, this is CAW. This is a hobby. This is a
Yeah,
hobby,
for real.
dude. Like,
It's not real life.
no, it's not. This is a hobby. You and I, we're friends in real life. We talk in real life on a daily basis. Send memes
Oh,
back and
daily,
forth. Like
dude.
this is real friendship. This is where the loyalty comes from. It's not like, hey, you did this thing for me, so you're loyal, and I'm going to use
Yeah,
you because
yeah,
you want my side of the spectrum. Like you said, you wanted my perspective. I was in a high executive role. I was writing the storylines over there. And after that whole bullshit blew up with you not wanting to do the scenes and you having issues with the voiceovers, he tells me, this is J Kit, the owner of JTV. He tells me straight up, he's like, I'm going to get rid of Chris probably. I'm going to clean house after this next big show and I'm probably going to get rid of Chris. That's a fact. So I tell you that after I have a falling out with him, and after I leave JTV, I'm bringing back, POW from SVR 2011 days, and I communicate with you about what's going on because at this point, you and I had been close friends, and even then, you were still hesitant in leaving because you're like, but like
my
this,
loyalties were still there.
your loyalties were still there. You're still hesitant, and I have to tell you straight up, like, bro. that loyalty isn't being reciprocated because behind scenes, he's talking about canning you. And I think once we got a little deeper and we talked about everything, we fledged everything out, we fledged out Reckoning and everything. This kind of stuff is going to be explored on the 1 year show. But once we did all this stuff, you were on board and you had offers. Like, I offered you stuff that you wanted to do in JTV. You wanted to be a talent relations kind of guy. You got that in POW. You wanted to be an executive kind of guy. You got that here. So I offered you that kind of stuff and you took it. And that's when you're like, all right, I'll see y'all later. I'm out. And
Yeah, but even then, bro, I got like not to cut you off, but like leading up to the days that I put out the I quit post,
hmm
the infamous "oh what the fuck"
hmm
shitstorm that happened with uh Ultimate Hoedown 4 or Ultimate Hoedown 5, whatever number it is. I last count. I genuinely lost count.
I don't
Um,
fucking care, dude.
yeah, I know. Um, like I was just like, man, am I really gonna do this? Like literally, even the day of, bro, I was just like, I was torn. I genuinely was. And then I put the post out and just in a moment of being like, fuck it, just being saying fuck it, and just hit the post button, and the floodgates open.
Everything happened, bro. Everything
Yeah,
happened. And there's a lot of people trying to sway the narrative and trying to lie. Let me ask you, were you ever offered, like after you put that post, were you ever hit up by anybody to stay in JTV?
no,
Never.
nope. They were just like,
So
what the fuck? All right, well, and then certain people were like, all right, fuck you too, then. All right, well, here's one to you too, buddy.
so
Enjoy enjoy jail.
well, there you go. There you go.
They know who
So
they are.
right. So my thing is this, it's like with that being said, nobody hit you up to ask you to stay or anything like that. What was he was trying to lie and say he wasn't going to can you. Then why didn't you ask him to stay? If you were Chris, you and I have had so many conflicts in the beginning of POW. We had so many conflicts because you were on the verge of leaving COW altogether at one point when we were first
Mm-hmm.
starting because it was getting so stressful trying to get people booked, trying to sign talent, trying to keep the Facebook and stuff
Bro,
together. And you were doing this all by yourself because I was just out of the game at the time. I hadn't gotten everything together yet. And I leaned on you for a lot of this stuff. And you were like, dude, I can't do this. This is stressful. And each and every single time, I would either call you, I would get you in a party chat, and we'd talk. And we would just talk and we would just have a game plan and a point of action. And each and every single time, it got better and we did better. That's what loyalty and friendship really is. You know what I'm saying? It's not
yeah,
this
like
whole bullshit
you
of,
just
yeah,
you reached out and you were like, yo, what's going on with you?
right.
And I straight up told you, like, dude, I'm burned out because at the time, like, first of all, let's start here. Like, the first person that I think we got lined up was Justin, if I'm not mistaken.
Massacre. Yeah,
I genuinely believe, yeah, it was Justin. So I don't know how. I don't even remember who hit up who first. I genuinely do not know.
right.
But Justin was bringing in people like left and right, but it was like scattered because he was making party new group chats every single time. And so it was like trying to keep up with them all. It was stressful. And
hmm
then people were and then when we did make like a POW like locker room chat, the first one, or maybe even the current one, I don't even know anymore. Um, people just weren't responding,
No, they weren't saying shit. They were leaving and they weren't saying anything. And
or they were just looking at it. And then when you hit them up, they're just, and then they see the message in their private DMs, and still don't say shit.
right. So you had to deal with a lot of that bullshit. And I
And
understood your frustration. Yeah,
yeah, and and you and me when it comes to that kind of deal are polar opposites because you seem to have all the patience in the world, which I think is a miracle. I, for one, am not that way. I have patience for a lot of things in life, but when it comes down to getting shit done, it's time to get shit done.
right. No,
Cut the bullshit,
yeah.
cut the fuckery, and let's get the shit rolling.
But I like our dichotomy and we mesh so well when we work together because you and I are on the same page. We have the same mentality. We just have different ways about going about things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's
So,
just my thing is that it's a professionalism thing. If you
hmm
say you're gonna do something, then you need to do it. And if
right,
you can't do it, at least have the decency to send a message and be like, "Yo, this is going on. I can't make it. I need a little more time, whatever."
something, just something.
But when you don't communicate, when you don't set up shit and you don't tell people what's going on, then I have issues.
Right. And that's the
Shout out to
thing. I,
shout
I,
out to
yeah,
go ahead.
yeah. No, no, no.
I
Go
was
ahead.
gonna
Get your shout out.
shout out to the movie scenes. Not setting up scenes and shit. That's a great way to do shit. Yeah, great job.
Or how about giving you a script and telling you to say it a certain way? The script has fucking fucked up words, can't even fucking write, can't spell for shit, all caps. You can't understand what he's trying to say, and he asks you to do a voice that you don't know what the fuck he's talking about. But I digress. Yeah,
Yeah.
back to the POW shit. Like when it comes to us, and if you're on the roster and you're listening, look, guys, if you want if you can't make something, if you can't do something, just let us know in advance. That way we're not hitting you up and chasing after you. You have nothing to fear with us, you know? Hit me up, just let me know. All right? Cuz that's the environment that we have. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, this is a hobby. But it's like a fantasy football league or like a pickup game. If you have plans of teams of who you're going to play with when you go out to play basketball with your friends, you expect that person to be there. And if they can't show up, they need to tell you. You know what I'm saying? It's just courtesy. That's all it is. It's just courtesy. And I feel that there's a lot of issues like that everywhere, but it's just a people thing. And I understand why you were hot headed in the beginning of POW because you were the main guy. You're like running everything while I was trying to get shit together because I was
Yeah.
organizing differently than you were. You were hands on. I was behind the scenes organizing, all right, what shows we're going to do. I was organizing like storylines,
And
like,
and that's why like you and me were butting heads somewhere because you were like telling me to do this and that and that and that and I'm like, dude, in what time?
mhm, right.
And I remember this conversation specifically because I remember I got so pissed. It was one of the few times I think I actually like really like cussed you out because I was like, dude, you have me sitting here, you have me doing voiceovers, you have me doing the matches, you have me trying to get hold of these fuckers who don't answer. Like, you need to like pull your head out of your ass for like 5 minutes and realize that this shit's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and I understood it. Hey, I listened. I understood everything you were
Yeah,
saying. Like, it wasn't like me arguing back at you neither. It was just like, bro, I
but
get
I
it.
but I also think that kind of like at that point, because I don't think you really fully grasped what was going on until I had that kind of like blow up, and you
Mhm.
realize like, oh shit,
Yeah, no,
this
I
is a
mean,
lot.
yeah, it is a lot when you put it on paper and when you explain it in the way that you did, like so explicitly. We were doing a lot of different stuff, but every single time I would tell you, bro, it's gonna
Push through
work
it.
in the
We
long
got
run.
this.
Yeah. Well, we got this. It's gonna work in the long run. And I think you only have to deal with that kind of shit for like a month. It was like
It
an entire month of you just doing all of the big shit, I think. And
was like a month and a half. Yeah, it was like a month and a half.
yeah, and
Because Draskell didn't come in with Wolf or anybody until like almost December.
right after we did the house show. Or
Yeah,
before we like a little before we did the house show, we got
yeah.
them on board for sure, for sure. I mean, we got Wolf on board day one, but Wolf
But
he's
they,
another
but
story.
yeah, but like Draskell, like the whole like Draskell had mentioned about doing talent relations because I think Draskell has more patience than I do. That's a
Yeah,
definite. That's a definite.
yeah, he
But
does. Yeah,
yeah, so Draskell only took over the talent part of it maybe about 6 months ago, 7 months ago, really.
yeah,
And
and
that's when we
he's doing
had,
fine.
yeah, he's doing great. That's why it was kind of like a get in where you fit in.
hmm I mean, yeah, this isn't a downplay anything you do. You still do a lot. You still, I mean, I don't fucking know. I don't know, but
The voiceovers and some of the pictures and shit.
yeah, some of the edits and stuff like that. Cause me and you sat in a party one night and did that first edit. that first Gorilla Cruise edit when he attacks John Carter at Reckoning. We did
Yeah,
that
I remember
together.
that was a fun night. Let me tell you, that was probably one of the most fun. That's probably some of the most fun I've had editing in a long time.
And I think you didn't. I don't want to downplay it, but I don't think you really understood like the depth of my creativity until that night. Until that night, you didn't understand. You didn't quite get
I
it
didn't, I didn't know how you were gonna do it.
right.
That's what like blew my mind when you figured out how to like change the camera angle in the same video clip like for every like little cut. It blew my mind because I was like, I would have never thought of that. I would have never discovered that.
Right. And I think that's when you were like, all right, I'm gonna just have faith in this dude's creativity and let him do what he got to do, and I'm gonna just help him out where I can. I
Yeah.
think that's when we had that moment of clarity as well. I mean, we worked on a bunch of shit together, and we're still gonna work on shit together. Because this is our brainchild, bro. Like POW, we raised this shit
I'm I'm
from the
gonna
ground
ride.
up.
I'm gonna ride this shit till the wheels fall off, dog.
Oh yeah. Because once this is it, once we're done, we're done, dude. Like that's it for us in CAW. I think. Like this is
Yep.
it.
I'm gonna my blondish black hair is gonna turn gray. I'm gonna be sitting in my rocking chair with the lantern in my hand and a bottle of whiskey in the other.
You're gonna be sitting there while John Carter's sitting in front of you, looking at the stars.
Uh, I'm gonna have him on my I'm gonna have him on my lap. The boy's gonna come up to me with a PS1 game. I'm gonna hit his ass with the come here, you little shit. I'm gonna tell you a great story.
And that's it. And that's a wrap. That was the Latin Prince episode. I want to thank you all for listening. I want to thank you all for joining us. I would also like to give a special shout out to Chris Morales for joining us on this episode and telling his story and giving his shoot and everything like that. I would also be remiss if I did not send my congratulations to Warzone Wrestling and Fighting Championship Wrestling, both of whom came out with two major pay-per-views that broke fucking ratings records for themselves individually. Fighting Championship Wrestling came out with no holds barred. Congratulations to you guys. You guys got 400 views and climbing. Awesome job. Let's bring comp back to the forefront. Keep up the great work. Warzone Wrestling this past week broke subscriber numbers for Wade. They've got more subscribers than us now. Congratulations to you, Wade. You put out an amazing show. You made some great progress. You're just spectacular, man. You're making Sim look really good. So congratulations to you and congratulations to Fighting Championship Wrestling. Go check those out, please. They deserve it. These guys work hard on what they do. So that's it for us, though. That is it for us. You're going to hear from us soon. We got that episode 6 of Vendetta coming out October 24th. And once again, episode 3 of the POW podcast, which is the 1-year anniversary show. You do not want to miss this show. I'm not lying to you. This is the biggest show that we have put out yet. That is coming out October 26th on that Monday. Please join us for that. Please keep it locked, and please subscribe, share your comments, let your voice be heard, man. We want to experience this with you. This is immersive, baby. We in VR, baby. And just like VR, we out of here.